All right, so let's get into it. These frauds. First one, and I know our boy down there in the corner, Mr. Shonen Showdown, is gonna love this one. But Shanks, fraud number one. P, I know you got a lot to say, and I actually want to hear P go off about this. But I'll let our guests, if anyone you have any defense or accusations towards these characters, please state your case about their fraud level.
You know what's crazy?
Up the mic.
You know, this right here is probably one of the most disrespectful things I've seen on Life with Anime podcast so far. To have Shanks even be on this list makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And the reason why I say that is it's a disrespect to Oda's writing. It's a disrespect to the entire series of One Piece. And I can't stand for that. First of all, I would opt and just having Shanks' name removed from the list, and then we could pick somebody else in One Piece. But since he's here, I would put him literally at the bottom because there's no way Shanks is a fraud. Like everything that Shanks has done up to this point and the surrounding characters around him and everything else, it would literally make no sense for him to just switch up and me say, oh, hey, I'm evil now. And I feel like because people believe that he has connections to the Celestials or to the Gorosei, that automatically means that he's in cahoots with them. If Shanks truly were in cahoots with the Gorosei, literally, in what's going on in Egghead right now is the time for Shanks to really come outside and say, "Hey guys, I'm Team Gorosei. I'm
Dragon
Team
too,
Celestial."
He ain't showed up either.
But you know Shanks shows up. As a kid fan, you know Shanks shows up. All right. Anyway, back to what I was saying.
That's messed up,
There is
messed up, Rob.
you know.
Hey,
okay, so all I'm saying is Shanks is definitely not a fraud. We already know where this came from. This came from the first time we saw Shanks in the meeting with the Gorosei. People took that up and ran with it and said, oh, well, Garling hit daddy and all. Relax. Even if he does have a connection to the Gorosei or the Celestials in a bloodline type of way, Shanks is not on that side of things. It literally would make no sense for the story for him to just switch up right now.
It wouldn't
And
make good sense.
It wouldn't. No, it wouldn't make
wouldn't.
sense. It wouldn't make sense because Shanks literally stole the gum fruit off of a marine ship too.
Yeah, but we okay.
He did. He clearly wanted it for himself. You know, like, do I think Shanks has his own motives? Yeah, I do think he has his own motives. Do I think he's with the Gorosei? Nah, I don't think he's with the Gorosei. I would put that man on the bottom of the list too. I ain't gonna lie. That man Shanks ain't no fraud.
Tracy.
That's not a fraud right there.
And yo, Joe, you want to go first?
No, you got it. I can't because you itching to go. So go.
I'm really not itching to go. So here's my thing. All of the points that Rob brought up are the exact reasons why I think he should be on Fraud Watch, in my opinion. Do I think he would side himself with the Gorosei? Maybe not. Do I think he has other motives that nobody knows about? I 100% do. Do I believe that those motives are going to have him and Luffy fight? 100%. If nothing else, I do believe that they're going to battle ideologies more than anything. But that's going to come up in a fist fight, in my opinion. I don't think everybody is what Shanks, like, it's not as he appears, in my opinion. I think that there are some really clouded things that we don't get to see a lot from Shanks, which is Oda's like amazing, phenomenal writing. We won't get to know until the time actually happens. But I guarantee you, it is not going to be sunshine and rainbow on Shanks's end. I can 100% guarantee that.
If we're saying Shanks being a fraud means that he's going to compete with Luffy, then I feel like I'm missing what's being said here. I think Shanks is going to compete with the Straw Hats for sure. There's going to be a clash of some sorts. Now, it could be a friendly competition. It could be a Davy back game. It could be something along those lines. But I do believe that they are going to compete to go for the One Piece. Shanks is not here to say, since Luffy and I are friends, I'm giving.
I think it would be more of a Whitebeard and Rogers situation. That's what I think.
I think Shanks might be even more so like a Garp-ish type of character, to where like sometimes it for him the lines might be blurred to where sometimes you don't know where he necessarily stands.
That's where I'm at with Shanks. My thing is he obviously there's a lot to what we don't know about Shanks, right? Like we've talked about that, his lineage, who he comes from, the fact that, yeah, like you said, he can step into a room with the Gorosei and just walk out, right? Like if the fact that they know he took this fruit that they were trying to keep under wraps for however long, and this is like they let him keep it. They just like it. Obviously, then Luffy ate it, but they knew what was going on, right? They've taken out a celestial dragon before, maybe not necessarily the Gorosei themselves, but we saw a celestial dragon get taken out up at what was the big meeting that they had?
Reverie?
The Reverie, right?
Mm-hmm.
We saw a celestial dragon get taken out, so it's not like just because he's a celestial dragon, they're not going to touch him because they can't. No, we've seen him do that. Now, mind you, is he more powerful than said celestial dragon taken out? Absolutely. It's Shanks, right? We've seen him with, like you said, with the kid feet, which ain't that big of a feat, but the kid feet, right?
All right, let's not do that.
But I guess my point with Shanks is more like I feel like he's not on. And I know we're getting to the point in the manga where even again a little bit manga spoiler, we're getting to the point where we don't necessarily know who, at least back in history, who was the good guy, who was doing what was right, whether it was the Gorosei or whether it was Joy Boy, right? Like we don't know who the quote unquote good guy is. But based on what we've been going through with this whole entire story, we got Luffy, I'll just say Strides. I won't say pirates in general, but Luffy and his crew and the World Government. The World Government's evil, bro. Like we just gonna chalk that up. The World Government's evil.
Yeah.
I feel like Shanks is a lot closer to the middle than we think he is.
100%.
And because of that, I'm suspicious of what his true intentions are. It's not necessarily him. I know he's going to go against Luffy. Like that has to happen, right? The whole exchange of the hat, like Shanks is like, give me my hat, like, bring my hat back. Yeah. Like that's going to happen. And that's not what it is. It's more of, I think there's a lot more to Shanks that we don't know. And I think that his history and his background are going to show that he's not necessarily a quote unquote good guy like we all think and know him and love him to be. I think he's a lot more, again, in the middle, and we'll find out how far left or right he truly is. But I'm very suspicious of his character. Again, being able to do all these things. Obviously, I know, Rob, you talk about even Marine 4, like Shanks is him, so he can pull up and stop everybody. But like, he's one person.
And
like, yeah, his crew is kind of dope. But literally, if everybody turns around and attacks Shanks, like, is he truly pulling out of there? Because
we got a Kainu there, we got our keys, like everybody.
There's something going on with him outside of all of this that like there's something don't sit right with Shanks. And so, am I putting Shanks at number one fraud? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Especially now with the people that we got on this list, Shanks is not number one fraud. 10, I'm until we get to some other characters, I'm like 8.
Joe, that was a great breakdown, right? But my only thing is I don't want to try to put him into a York type of box when it doesn't fit. That's my thing, right? York is somebody that obviously was a part of Vegapunk's camp, and she switched up and was Team Gorosei and all that stuff.
She would be like upper like top 5, you know what I'm saying? Basically, like he would get switched up.
She's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not definitely not putting him up there for sure.
Right. But that's what I feel like a lot of people saw Shanks in the meeting with the Gorosei, and they're trying to put Shanks in that York type of box where I'm like, I don't think Shanks even. First of all, his crew doesn't even stand like that. Even if you look from any type of backstory, SBS, anything like that, you think Ben Beckman and all these people would be sailing with Shanks
that they would know, though? But I think that's the thing, is that we don't know. I don't think anybody knows too much of anything about Shanks right now.
Like, you don't think his own crew knows about Shanks?
Luffy didn't know about Sanji's history.
No,
that's true.
But like, people don't be knowing about people like Shanks.
So if Shanks wants to keep stuff away and like, hey yo, I gotta go handle this, ain't nobody going to follow Shanks.
No, but see, Luffy is different though. Luffy is we already know Shanks is more calculated than Luffy, right? But
which worries me. But that is my worry.
But Ben Beckman is also in that conversation for one of the most
I will say that Shanks tends to pull up by himself.
That's exactly. Thank you.
When he pulled up on the Gorosei, he was by himself in a cloak. You know, like
nobody's gonna know what's going on with that guy.
When he steps on Whitebeard's ship, it's him. It's not him and his crew. It's him. Did he pull the Marine forward with the crew? Yeah, because he's like, if something goes down.
But at this time, we already know who Shanks is.
I think that I can agree with like Shanks probably being somewhere in the middle, but I think that he's got influence on both sides, and I think that he's using that to his advantage. You know, like over here on the pirate side, he's Yonko, he's this all powerful pirate, but over here on the Gorosei side, it's not necessarily like a power thing. It's more of he got a lot of knowledge kind of thing, and he knows a lot, and he can use that as leverage. On top of that, he is strong, so it's not like he's somebody that you could just take out with one dude, two dudes, or whatever. He's not somebody you could just take out easily like that.
But Tracy, Tracy, let me ask you this, right? Even if, because I think part of Preston's point is that Shanks' father is Figurlin Garling, right?
Hold on, I didn't say that.
Preston, you say that all the time.
That's part of the point.
You say that all the time.
He is celestial.
Right. Even if that is the case, right? Then can we not look at characters like Rosinante and say, okay, you have celestial blood. That does not mean you have ties to. Can we not look at characters like Sabo and say?
Sure.
So that's all I'm saying.
But they've never been in shaky situations like Shanks. Like
they're not doing what Shanks is doing.
They're not going to Marie's Y and commanding an audience with a pirate commanding an audience with the five. That is unheard of.
He steps in there by himself and they listen.
And they listen
because
he's strong.
Because if that's the case, Kaido and Big Mom could also pull the same feats at that time. I'm just saying, as Yonkos, they should be able, especially Kaido, like they should be able to kind of pull those same feats.
But it's not because of his strength. It's because everything else. His strength is part of it. And it's like, yo, we have an all-out battle. We pulled up on him right now, for sure. But it's not. I think his strength is not the reason they was like, hey, yo, yeah, let him in the room. And okay, what you have to say. And okay, you can walk away and go do what you want to do. Come on, bro. And he stops a war.
He knows
to where the Navy is like, oh, snap. Yeah, Shanks, whatever you want, bro.
Because Shanks,
bro. No,
power doesn't mean I get power. Is
No. He does have some political power behind him, right? But I do think it's some, right? Because I could see him having Garling as, you know, that whole family bloodline celestial background. I could see that being a thing. Yeah. I'm just not going the full he's York 2.0 super calculated.
I think for sure. Do we even know what he said in that room yet? Has that even been?
No.
But we don't know what pirate he was talking about. We just know that he said he wanted to discuss a certain pirate.
Yeah, people think it's Blackbeard. People think it's Blackbeard.
Luffy or Blackbeard.
Yeah,
it's Luffy or Blackbeard. Yeah, it's crazy. And that is what I stand on when I say ideologies. I think that Shanks is more so like a person of order, and I think Luffy disrupts that order very much so. So if he went to the Gorosei, it's like, hey, yo, like we might have to check Luffy, like. Dude wants to be free, and he already has.
Wouldn't he be at Egghead? This is the perfect opportunity for him to flip.
No. Because that's all I'm saying. Because one, I don't think that we're in the story yet to get there. Number one, because if that's the case, there should be a couple of people that have pulled up at Egghead, and we haven't seen a couple of people there. I just don't think we're there in the story. As
Shanks is on Elbeth. Right, he's like, let's go get. He's like, all right, it's time to go get the One Piece. Like, it's time to go handle this and finish this out. Right, so he's not. Yeah. Luffy ain't there yet. So he's like, forget Luffy. Let me go get what I need to get, and then if I gotta handle Luffy, I'll handle Luffy.
But I do believe like that discussion was about Luffy 100%.
Well, look, in terms of this list, I still think that Shanks is at the bottom.
Me too.
Just looking at the list,
7 or 8 for me.
Looking at. No, okay. Actually, I'm gonna put Shanks at like what we got 10.
10 total.
I could see 9 or 8 actually because I just saw somebody else on the list, so I would say probably 9.
I think
I'm outnumbered.
I think 9 is a good. I think 9 puts us in a good spot. Basically, we got 2 8s, a 9, and a 10. So 9 is the.
That's still basically bottom.
It's still low.
There's just somebody on there.
I think it was. Shanks was definitely not going to be top 5. Like there was nowhere near, there's no way, especially with the people on the list. Like Shanks going to be top 5, right?
Yeah.
But I definitely think there's some thought that needs to be had about Shanks and who he is and what he truly stands on, because we have absolutely no clue.
Yeah, no, I understand people questioning Shanks. I just feel like if he truly was like that, what was that, Chase?
I think we just gotta watch him a little bit. I'm not.
I'm not saying hey yo, we need everybody eyes on Shanks. I mean, kind of, because he's the one person that literally has only said, "Hey yo, time to go get the One Piece," but not necessarily for fraud reasons. Like everybody needs to pull up on Shanks, kind of thing. Yeah. So.
Bro.